Hi, my name is Plexi Cosplay, and I am here at C2E2 for the Crown Championships of Cosplay, where I am interviewing the competitors either before judging or after to give you a little bit of the backstage insight into what goes on. So we are in the green room right now, and I'm going to try to ask all the questions that I would think to ask, but we're also going to see them on stage later for their stage walk because that is separate from judging. We'll go over that with a few of the questions as well. And hopefully we can show you a little bit more about what goes on really at the Crown Championships of Cosplay. And you said you just came out of judging, right?
Yeah.
All right. How did it go? Tell me a little bit about the process.
It went by way faster than you think. Somehow I finished my talking points like with a whole minute and a half to spare. Which
Ooh, that's rare.
Then I'm worried, like, what did I forget? Like,
Yeah.
But I had a list, and my handler was following along to make sure I covered everything, and I covered everything. So
I feel like I like limericked my way through the entire thing a million miles an hour and still didn't get to say everything that I want to. 5 minutes goes fast.
It does.
It goes so fast.
It goes very fast, and we're stressed and trying to get through
Very
months,
much so.
maybe years of costume design.
In Australia, you get about 15 minutes, so it's like I
can't
Of the
imagine.
time.
I was nervous in the morning, but I think I'm a little bit overheated to be nervous at this point.
It's priorities, pain points.
It's like now it's my bio needs
Yes, that's right.
prior to mental needs.
Kind of letting it be what it's going to be, and yeah, just prepping for the stage walk at this point because
Yeah.
at this point, if anything breaks, it's okay because
That's
the
right.
crowd is not going to be able to tell.
That's
Basically just got in there, did a top to bottom, just word vomit.
Yeah.
And they asked me a few questions and I was like, oh yeah, I did this, this, and this. And they were like, okay, cool, thanks.
I feel very, very good.
okay.
They're always just so nice.
Yes. Did you have kind of a plan whenever you went in?
I kind of did.
Yeah. Okay.
I try to start, from the inside out because I have a lot of undergarments.
Good method. Yeah.
Always end up forgetting, like stuff on my back is always hard.
Sure,
So,
yeah.
I try to do like inside out and then everything on the back.
They just look at you really hard.
They do.
And yeah, they ask a lot of questions. It's great.
Yeah.
They just look, they stare. And I like,
Yes.
yeah.
So are you talking during that? Do you have like an
Yes.
elevator pitch?
I talk during that and I have to give my elevator pitch somehow in 5 minutes.
I'll be honest. Every year is so stressful.
Yeah.
Anyone who tells you that it's not, totally no. It's always stressful. Just getting here, making sure you're in the right spot, right time. Build books, all the stuff that you do at home. As you get better at doing your thing, you'll get a little bit quicker. Build books for me, I suck at build books, so they always take a little while. And they
Yeah.
always end up a little weird. But it's always a little stressful. And sitting in here and waiting all day, waiting around, and you have 5 minutes in judging. What are you going to say? And then you get 30 seconds to walk across the stage. And it's just thinking about, what I've, the last 6 months of my life summed up in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So there's no real way to kind of calm myself down. So it's always a little bit of a circus.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It always ends up turning into you kind of word vomiting at the judges, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially especially for crown builds and you have so many details and things that you want to tell them about. But you go in and you essentially you tell them how you made things, and sometimes people like to go head to toe, or they talk from biggest elements to smallest elements. Everyone does it slightly differently as far as the order of which they tell them in. Sometimes the judges ask questions. Some judges will get in, flip your seams, which they very much did today.
Yeah.
Usually, and the 5 minutes goes so fast.
Yep.
It never feels like enough time, and some competitions do only 2 or 3 minutes, and it's craziness to try to tell them everything you need to.
I got in there, they were very kind and friendly, which is awesome, so it calmed me down a little bit, so I got to start going through the whole piece. I kind of just went from top down for the most part.
Yeah.
I did have quite a bit to cover in that amount of time, so that was a bit stressful, but
Sure.
it was still fun. They were really kind. They were asking me lots of cool questions. They were making me feel really good about the work. It was really awesome.
Yeah, it's really a chat between yourself and the judges, kind of explaining how you made your costume. They've been in the exact same position you have, so they're not scary.
Yeah.
They're there to observe and judge your costume, but it's really it's fun talking about all the hard work you put in your costume. So I like the judging process. And after it's done, you feel super relaxed. So I'm in the good place. I am just waiting for the chance to show my costume on stage, and I'm really excited about that.
Going to go into judging soon.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Very, very nervous.
Nervous? Okay, so
Yeah.
you have 5 minutes to talk to the judges.
Yes.
Whenever you're preparing to go in, what's going on in your head?
Alguien va a traducir.
Oh my gosh, she's not gonna think, she's just gonna keep talking and
Yes.
let the translator do their job.
I love this. Yeah.
So I have a little bit of an untraditional way. I like to start with my most impressive piece and then go down to the least impressive. Because if I run out of time, I want to make sure that my stellar gold stars are what they remember. That's their first impression of me. So normally, like if I have a prop, I'll do that first so I can hand it off so that I can use my hand to gesture and point to different things. I also practice a lot. I write out the entire script of what I want to say, and then I time myself to see if I can say it in the amount of time. And if I can't, I edit it down. And then I just practice it until I feel really comfortable. Obviously, I've spent hours with this build, so I know everything about it. Sometimes you just get a little nervous and you stumble and you take a big breath and you keep talking until I can't breathe anymore.
Yes.
All right, so you have just arrived, which means have you done judging at all yet?
No, actually, I'm scheduled for noon.
Okay, so you're scheduled to go. So you're kind of ramping up into the anxiety part.
Weirdly, I'm kind of zen right now.
You seem very chill for this. So you have yourself prepared, I'm guessing. Do you have kind of talking points? What are you looking towards?
Yeah, I've been able to sort of like, I'm used to sort of rehearsing conversations just on my own, so I was able to sort of explain to myself. There's a phrase I use called rubber ducking, which is programmers explain programming to rubber ducks on their desk whenever they have to go from square one all the way to where it is. So for me, that's just kind of what I did with the entire costume. All the different materials that I used, all the different like manufacturing methods. So yeah, honestly, practicing your conversations does help.
I'm gonna go through. I have like a list on my phone of what I need to go through, what I need to show them. So
Yeah, that's smart. So you actually bring a phone in with you with a little bit of like bullet points on what you want to go over.
Yep.
Great. How do you organize that?
So honestly, this is my only second time getting prejudged.
What?
So
This
yeah.
is amazing. Oh my goodness.
So I actually had to talk to some friends about it. I was like, hey, what do I talk about? So my main pieces are like electrical work. So I have like I have a motor in this. I have some lights and smoke in there, and then I'll have some coming up my respirator. So that's like some main points I talked about.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you're learning new techniques, that's also what I added.
So I did the Honey Universe fashion show.
Yeah.
Won that in 2022. And so practicing my walk, I think I practiced it for about 12 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Cape flip, practicing, taking it off, putting it back on over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And for me, it was all about just the moment on the runway rather than winning. I just wanted the moment that I had, and that was enough to win.
Okay, and then you
for me,
won.
and then I won, and that was a cool bonus. But going into it, the expectation wasn't to win; it was to have a really good, cool experience.
Yeah.
I go bottom up because I like to start with the shoes, and then the wig is the last thing that takes so long. So, but yeah, I do need to try and talk slower when I do it because last time I just sped through it all so fast. So
It's funny because we have people like yourself and others who have competed a lot or have won all these things, and it's still just as nerve-wracking for experienced cosplayers as it is for someone brand new.
The thing with a 5-minute judging slot is that it goes by much faster than you think it will. And so just having in your mind, like, these are the points I gotta hit, this is the order they're gonna go in, and just making sure that you keep your mind centered on those things and not getting sidetracked by
for sure.
anything else.
It's so
Yes.
easy, and I feel like a lot of us blank.
So usually I just write out like a note sheet, or I try and memorize something.
Yeah.
Especially since they took our books in advance.
And then in terms of talking to judges, I usually just go through what I put in my build book. So if I organize the build book well, I find that talking to them is really easy.
So she usually starts by going from her head and then go all the way down. But just like you said, there are some parts that she wants to spend extra time explaining because they took her like just so much more effort, so such as the wig, the corset, and all of the beautiful flowers.
It really depends on the costume. For this one, I talked about the understructure first because they can't see any of it.
Yeah.
So I showed them my build book and the under layers of my costume that make the structure of it. And then I talked about top to bottom or head to foot to toe. Depends on the costume.
Yeah. So I am currently at the Marriott right now, and to watch what it's like for them to get ready for judging. Been a long day so far, but very exciting. Cool. So we're in here. Say hi. What's your cosplay name? What are you dressed as?
I'm Kim as Possible, and I'm going to be Madame Raz. Oh my gosh, no. I've been competing for 10 years. We pretty much jumped in our first convention into the contest and have been hooked ever since. My mom, sister, and I have been doing this together pretty much the whole time. We were a group from Batman Court of Owls, and although we didn't win anything, we were hooked, and so we got into making like more of our costumes because we'd always made costumes for Halloween. So we just jumped right into that.
You clearly love competing.
Yes.
Tell me about, since this is a topic that we've been talking about recently, some of the barriers, because you do use a wheelchair.
Yes.
We have some accessibility struggles that I would say have happened in terms of getting onto stage, really. That's part of it. So tell me a little bit about maybe the history of that in terms of, has it come a ways in your experience from whenever you started to now, and where do we hope it to keep going?
In some places it has come a ways. I actually have friends who fought for years to get disability access at Dragon Con, and then I became the first wheelchair user to win an award in their masquerade this year. So it shows the payoff for fighting for disability advocacy, that we can get on stage and show off our costume on stage with other contestants and getting compliant ramps that are safe for us to use. Crown has not been as great because they have a utility ramp that they use to get on stage. The bump up is probably about like 3 to 4 inches, so you can't get wheelchair wheels on it. It doesn't have a railing on one side, and at its highest, I think it's like 3.5 feet, 4 feet tall. So they were supposed to have an ADA lift this year, but something didn't get communicated, and so they have that ramp again. So I will not be able to use my wheelchair to get onto stage. But I had a backup plan, and I actually brought my cane that is actually a prop. So I disguised it as Madame Raz's broom, but I have my cane that I can use.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily that you have to show it off for the judging part. It is a small part, but it's the culmination of all the work that you've done, and everybody should have equal access to being able to experience that.
Because if only the first row can see your costume, that's not very good visibility.
Right.
And you don't really get to show off your work that way. And then if you win something, they still don't get to see why you won because they didn't see your costume past the first row.
Yeah, so it's still a work in progress that I hope keeps growing, because there are more and more people in cosplay, and while cosplay has always been very inclusive as a community, it needs to go the whole way to the top. To really make it something for everybody.
And I will always fight for that.
Somebody in the community is looking to start competing, and maybe they have some sort of an accessibility concern. What kind of steps would you say are important for them when they're looking at a con or a competition if they want to participate?
I would first talk to other people competed in that competition and ask them what was the stage layout like this year. Most of the cons that I do actually do have ramp access for I think about 80%.
Okay.
And smaller conventions won't necessarily have the budget because they have to pay for a ramp.
Yes.
But established conventions, there really shouldn't be an excuse to not have one because they continually have people coming in and the budget. And there are some smaller ones that are outshining the bigger ones.
Sure, yeah.
In that area.
Okay, so finished my interview with Kim as Possible to go eat food and get ready for the competition tonight, which is going to be great. So let's tune in. So you come a little bit early, you have a green room here, and you came with the knowledge that you have some time to fix things at the last second. I think maybe people might not understand that you don't just walk right into the judging room, that usually there's a place to do some touch-ups. So do you bring maybe an emergency bag, makeup, what are you looking for whenever you come in here?
Can I swear?
Yeah.
I have a bag that actually says which I'm calling my Fix-It bag.
I love it.
And it has some makeup touch-up items, mostly just for lipstick and the whites, just like the main colors on my face in case it smears. Walking over from your hotel space or your car or wherever, the wind can hit you, someone can bump into you. So much can happen in those like 10-ish minutes. So I've also got super glue, bobby pins, some nail polish for like hardware touch-ups. Like I've got these snaps painted green to blend in, so if something gets scraped, extra cords and something snaps, safety pins of course.
Yeah.
Just all sorts of good fix-it items.
Do you keep snacks in your bag?
I usually do bring snacks.
Everyone's gotta have snacks.
No, right now we just wanted to kind of get here, make sure we knew where we were going.
Yeah.
And then we have everything kind of in bags, just because it's harder to walk around in leg armor. But we sort of practiced what I was going to say to the judges and on the drive over, and there's been a lot of upgrades that I've made to this costume in the last 3 weeks, so I really want to highlight those things and talk them.
Yeah, I honestly think that one of the bigger challenges is just logistical, right? Like getting the costume into the convention space, especially since I don't usually stay at a host hotel or anything. I just drive. So having a plan for how I'm going to move all the stuff and things, and then also knowing how long everything realistically takes. So being able to give a good assessment of how long it takes to get into my costume and just accounting for anything that goes wrong.
It is. It's fun. I feel like the pre-judging is the scariest 5 minutes of your life. And then you just get to go on stage and flaunt it and say hello and just move around, and I get to be like a little bit of a character.
Yeah.
That part's fun. That just feels good. I like that part.
It's a good.
I do the exact opposite, and I don't think about it at all.
He's an improver.
Yeah, I get out there and I do what feels right, and normally that's the right thing for me. So.
Oh,
yeah,
hey,
I mean,
that's what matters.
You have to know where you're headed to, but not necessarily how you're getting there.
I love the stage walk, but I always forget the poses that I rehearse.
Yeah.
I have to try so hard to keep them in mind and remember them. But once I'm up there, even if I hit the pose that I remember or not, I'm still having fun. It's really cool to just be out there in the light and hear how much people are excited by your work.
Yeah.
Well, the first concern is always how to get on stage if you are in a larger costume. For me, I have what's not on right now, but a very large cage that floats around me. I'm in stiletto high heels. Is there stairs to get on stage? Is there a ramp? Is there a lift? So that's a very important thing for me, at least to be prepared of. And then I always just have my general stage positions. Depending on which contest, I don't know what this one is, if we walk to one spot or what.
I think it's 3 spots on this one, yeah.
3 spots, then I'll do my pose, strike my other pose, and so I'll practice beforehand as this one, the movability while wearing the cage, and also having a really large prop. I had to make sure I can actually move it from point A to point B and not fall on my heels. So
I think you're gonna do great.
It is a part that I enjoy. I really like going out and like hearing the crowd's reaction and being like, it's very validating for all the time you've been working on it to see that, hey, the audience likes it too.
I'm naturally a massive introvert, but the stage walk component it's kind of nice because for me this is the culmination of 2 years of work.
Yes.
Very on and off 2 years of work between deadlines and everything else, but nonetheless, it's been a big part of my life. So it's kind of like this final goodbye to the project, putting down the tools.
Gives me feels.
Yeah, it does. it's making me choke up.
I'm right. Are you gonna cry here?
Oh no.
And my large props, I practice with them quite a bit so that I can at least get them maneuvered pretty easy. And hydrating really well because it's pretty warm in this.
Hydrate or dehydrate.
To prejudge is really trying to do I cover all of my points.
Yes.
But when it comes to actually I'll walk on stage, it's like please don't trip, please don't trip.
Is that all of us? Just don't fall. That's the only goal.
Especially with the cape, it's like don't step on it.
Well, I think in terms of the stage walk, the most important thing is to be confident. And so if you're trying to build confidence, just practice a million times, right? It's only a few poses that you get. It's really not a very long time on the stage. So just for 30 seconds, pick a point and walk to it as confidently as you can.
I mean, the stage walk itself is just getting on stage and looking real cool to an audience of many people.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
It is
terrifying,
the fun
but fun.
Yeah.
If your audience is good.
That's right. And this is a really good audience.
Yeah, no, they're always great.
I don't know. I think once we get in the green room, I think it's going to be a little intimidating, but once you pass on the stage, I think that's the high point for me.
Yeah.
So
do you kind of feed off the audience and get a high from that?
I kind
kind of like talk to like the people backstage, and that's kind of where I get like my everyone's so friendly. Everyone talks to each other, so it's just kind of like that's where I kind of get my like high from.
So a little dance.
A little bit of a
Not
dance?
but I'm not a dancer, so.
Oh no, it's fine. It's great.
I have a love-hate relationship with the stage walk. I don't know. It's great to be seen, but also I kind of wish they would just hand me my award.
That's right.
Or not.
Be done. We'll just be done.
It's really fun. It's very exhilarating to go out there and like pose in front of the audience and stuff. It always like I kind of black out on stage, and I know a lot of people do. You just kind of get out there and something happens, and then you get on stage. But I always find it very exciting to like get that moment of like showing it to the audience, showing off the costumes. It's like that always feels like a huge highlight. And my favorite part is hanging out in the green room and like talking to people backstage. So that's always the highlight of the contest, no matter what.
Yeah. So we're chugging through the pre-judging timeframes, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes of what's going on in the green room here. So for Crown Championships, they have a photographer here. Before or after your judging time slot, you can go to the back and get a nice professional photo done. It commemorates your time here, and you might have not had time otherwise because it's a really busy day. So this is what the green room looks like if you've never been in one, and they usually have some snacks set up, but it gives you some space to work, fix your costumes, get ready to go into judging, and then you can also network and talk to the other cosplayers. I can't overstate how important it is to talk to the people that you're competing with. It's really a benefit of competitions that is not mentioned enough. This is where you get to learn more. These are the people who are at the top of their game, and it's where you make friends too. So highly recommend spending some time in a green room if you're ever competing, whether it's crowns or something else.
I'm going to take a break for a little bit. There is another contest, I think, in August. I'm going to see if maybe I'll apply to that.
Sure.
But then I'm working on a book.
I'm absolutely never going to look at this one again for a while. But like I said, it's my job, so I do kind of need to go straight on to the next thing. But I feel like anything I'll do from now on will be easier than this.
For sure.
So anything will be just such a nice break because I've been working on this one for so long that I'm excited to look at literally anything else.
Yeah. I actually started my crown costume.
Oh my goodness.
For next year or the year after, depending on how long it takes. Actually, I started it last year actually, but it's going to be a lot of embroidery and a lot of hand sewing like sequins and beads on, and I'm really taking my time with it.
What happens next? Do you work on the next big thing?
Project,
Yeah. Are you already planning on the next project?
I literally have dyed all the fabrics today.
I feel like these competitions are always inspirational, and it makes you want to go out and do something even better.
Yes.
And I imagine it's the same for you.
I'm a workaholic, and I'm already working on another costume. I got to finish it in a week for the next convention that I go to.
I applied on a whim, did not think, like, legit was surprised, did not think I would get in. I didn't tell anybody I applied because I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I didn't think I would. But, like, just go for it. You never know until you know. Every year's different, too. So if you don't get in one year, it's almost like they're, like, casting a show, too, of who they're going to see. And, you know, sometimes there's two different people of the same character. So if you're like, oh, you know, Spider-Man's really big this year, I don't know, like, there could be more than one of a character in the contest. It's just, you never know. So always just take the chance and see.
Yeah, with you.
The most important ingredient to any cosplay build is passion. If you're making something just because you're trying to check boxes, it's gonna let you down every time. Make something that you love in your soul, and it'll be so obvious to everyone.
Sewing has its own language, as most of the words are French, and so it's going to be really confusing at the beginning. Google every single term you don't know. Just go through the pattern envelope and Google all of the terms. You will learn the terms and learn how to do cool sewing things.
I love it.
Patience. You're going to mess up a lot, and that's really frustrating, but just keep doing it until you get it to a point where you like it, and you're going to have a little bit of waste afterwards, but then you can reuse those parts for something else. So
I would say imposter syndrome is normal and happens to everybody, but you're in it to have something that you're proud of to show others, so just enjoying that.
I would say pick a costume that you really care about, because then when it takes you a long time to make and everything takes a little longer than you think it will, you're committed because you love what you're working on. So even if it takes a year, that's okay.
I mean, just go for it and don't have crises. Don't give yourself 2 months to finish.
Yeah. Procrastination is not for this one.
We're not gonna talk about it.
You did great.
Thanks.
Judges are super nice. Don't be scared of the judges.
Oh, I love this. Yeah.
The only metric of success you have in cosplayer is the one that you set for yourself, and as long as you are proud, then you have something to be proud of.
Actually, there's one thing I've noticed with everyone, and that included myself when coming into this. The thing that I feel that holds people back the most is the fact that they don't think they're good enough to compete. Yeah. And honestly, like when I even entered in this, I wasn't sure, but I had something happen recently, and I'm at a point where it's like, I'm going to just go for it. If I don't get accepted, that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can try again next year. There's other contests and that, but there's no shame in not making it into the cut. You just, but if you don't try at all, you'll never know if you even could make the cut to begin with.
Just do it and figure it out as you go.
We're all doing
it's
that,
fun.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged if it feels intimidating. There's a lot of new people this year, and they're all like, this is out of my depth. And I'm like, no, it's not. You made it here.
Right.
Crown, I've always considered a master level competition in what it takes to kind of win something. It's very, very tough competition. You have people all around the United States applying, and they pick like 30 people. So it's already going to be like the tightest competition you'll ever be in. But if you get in, that is a massive achievement already.
Put yourself out there. Like, this is my 4th competition total, and I just put myself out there and I got selected.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I would say my one piece of advice is to not come to the con alone. You don't need a handler here, but after you go through judging, you're gonna want a friend that you can talk about things with afterwards, spend some time with. If you're nervous, just hanging out and wandering and shopping with a friend is gonna help you get from that sort of psyched out state, sort of back in your head, back in your body. And yeah, it's really grounding to be able to spend time with people in between judging and walking.
Yeah.
Detail and cleanliness. As you're going about making your costume, if you use hot glue, if you're sewing, make sure you clean up and make it as perfect as possible as you go. Don't try to do it later. Make it clean as you go, because then you're going to overwhelm yourself, and planning is so important. Just give yourself a lot of time. It always takes way more than you think it will.
My one piece of advice is that the imposter syndrome is never going to go away, so you might as well just throw that application in.
The biggest difference about the Crown is that this is literally the Super Bowl of cosplay. So you're not just competing against the best in the US, you're competing against the best worldwide. So one of the things that you want to do, you want to take the time to make sure you work out all of the kinks and really perfect your cosplay where you can really articulate and be able to explain it to the judges too, and also show it off the best way when you get your time on the stage. Yeah, have fun, be yourself, put yourself in it, take your time, prepare if you do want to compete, make sure you're prepared. But the biggest thing that I always tell contestants before they go up there, remember, you did all the hard work, you put months, years into this stuff. Go up there and have fun, because when you have fun up there and you have fun in front of the judges and really be able to show them all of the good work that you did, no matter what the outcome is, you're gonna have a good time and you're gonna have some success from it.
Yeah. Just try.
Yeah.
The first year that I made it in, I was just like, I liked my cosplay. I was like, you know what, I might as well enter. And then I've been able to do it ever since. So you just gotta just do it.
That's really hard. I would say if someone's never competed before, Crown is like quite a very difficult one to go straight into. So I mean, I would probably work your way up with like smaller contests, and then get more experience, because you have to push yourself a lot for a contest. So you'll learn so much with just that one build, and then keep going higher and higher. But don't always just do competitions. Have fun with it too, and do things that are just easier, because like competition builds are a lot. So.
Oh man, there's so many gimmicky responses you can have to that. Prejudging is a performance. You have 5 minutes to go in and perform in a way in which you're able to convey all of the information you love about your costume to make sure that the judges are able to actually consume your costume. Your costume is a consumable. The judges experience it from start to finish over that course of that 5 minutes. So you need to go in there ready to tell them exactly what you want them to see. There's so many parts of your costumes that we aren't going to see just because of the time constraint unless you highlight them. Don't talk about the things that are bad about your costumes. Don't talk about the failures unless you failed a bunch of times and then we're able to overcome that kind of difficulty. That is always kind of like that win moment. I think that resonates with judges a lot of the time too. And then, okay, here's one that's referenced to me, right? If you 3D modeled it, make sure you tell us. If you didn't 3D model it, make sure you tell us, right? And that's about it. That's all I got for you.
Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
It's cosplay.
It is cosplay.
So,
Play is part of that.
Very much so.
But the friendship here cannot be understated.
The friendship's the best bit.
It's
the
best.
competition. I mean, excuse me.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yes,
the competition is just the excuse to get here to be with your friends.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
With something like this, getting the experience can be more valuable than instantly winning. So entering the competition and seeing what it's all about, and also making friends online is a good thing. But also entering into it without the expectation of winning, and entering into it knowing that you'll meet people and have a good time.
Planification.
Plan? I love it. So when you're planning and you went to compete at the original contest, were you planning with the idea that you might have to come to America to go to the big Crown Championships too?
Me he perdido un poco.
Ella te pregunta, cuando tú entraste el concurso allá en España, ¿tú entraste con la mentalidad y sabiendo que ibas a venir aquí a América? ¿O fue como una sorpresa decir, oh, ya gané, voy a venir acá?
More surprise.
Surprise?
The best thing is or the main focus that I always try to think about is like, I learn a whole lot more from losing than I ever do when I'm winning.
Yeah, it's true.
Getting my butt kicked is the best way to learn quickly. That's what's kind of propelled me to this point, you know, starting out small and getting my butt kicked a bunch.
Yeah.
It just kind of, you know, makes you a little angry.
It does, yeah. Use the rage to fuel
Yeah.
the I don't know, the maker in you.
Definitely, since this is my first crown, just have fun with it. And have faith in your skills. Because as so many people, I struggle with confidence.
Yeah.
I struggle socially because I have autism. I have a hard time keeping my confidence up just because as artists, I'm sure we all struggle with that.
Yes.
But a lot of my more experienced competitors have definitely said, trust the process, have faith in your skills, and you made it this far, you deserve to be here.
So you got first, second, and third place for C2E2. You've got then your category medals, so needlework, armor, special effects. Then you've got your global championship second and third place, as well as the crown.
Is it on now, Glenn? Glenn?
All right, so we are here at the Crown Championships. People are starting to line up, and we'll soon see the start of everything. You've already got the announcer up there up front, getting ready to go, and a lot of the VIPs up here, including photographers. So people are just going to start lining up here soon, and then we'll get started. So exciting! Hey!
Okay.
Okay, so this is Alex, Alexandra Lee Studios. She's going to be doing a lot of the photography. Are you doing videos or just photos?
I think so. I need this.
So she'll be doing videos of the Crown Championships, which means she has front row seat to everything. I know, it's exciting. We're gonna ask her some questions later, but one question while we get started. You've seen a lot of the competitions here. What kind of recommendations would you have for somebody going on stage for a stage walk if they want to have the best photos and videos?
Oh, for the best photos and videos, make sure that you hit your 3 marks on the stage, and also take your time. It's gonna feel like you're up there forever, but honestly, it's gonna be like 10 seconds. So like, take your moment and like hit the stage and make it work.
Skills and techniques with intense research behind the design, going as far as the director's own
18th and 19th century fashion, using both historically accurate, self-drafted, and handmade from scratch. Special attention was given her and hopes her cosplay will inspire more people to give it a read. This costume is
board, EDA foam and PVC pipe is the Chicago-based maker who enjoys exploring new crafting techniques through ambitious projects. This historically inspired design reimagined of time.
This armor was built.
This costume was created from scratch.
550 plus hours, literal blood.
Created this costume in honor of her mother, a puppeteer with over 40 years of experience.
Pattern on the leather and gauntlets to be as accurate.
Canadian Queen of Art. The dress features several types of hand stitching. That's right, Open Shield Cosplay reimagines gestures.
Cosplay created their design for Fire Song using thousands
Book. While its costume is inspired by the Baroque design, single fabric on this costume exists without a custom. Everything was self-patterned and scaled closely to the
Oh God.
It's the sweetest thing.